to our January Assembly. Can you believe it? We've made it to January 2022. Well, today we are speaking about courage. And so I wonder, have you had the courage to start something new already in this new year? Have you stuck to your New Year's resolutions? Have you started anything new? Tried anything new? Well, today we have got a brand new game for you, so we are going to go and play the game, and I'll be back to tell you something else in a minute. Okay, so our game today is Simon Says. Who has played Simon Says before? Who's not played Simon Says before? Well, I'll explain it to you. So Simon Says is a game where if I am Simon, then I am going to say, Simon says, touch your head. So everybody touches their head. And if I was to say, touch your head, without saying Simon Says at the start, then you don't do that action. So if I was to say, touch your head, then you're not going to touch your head because Simon never said it. Right, let's do the easy level to start off with. So Simon says, touch your head. Simon says, touch your knees. Simon says, touch your elbows. Touch your nose. Oh, I wonder who touched their nose or who's still got their hands on their elbows. So let's go from the elbows again. You're still in if you've got your hands on your elbows. So Simon says, touch your ears. Simon says, comb your hair. Simon says, put your hands in your pockets. Touch your feet. Oh, I wonder whose hands are still in their pockets. Okay, well done. So that was the easy level. Okay, so this is the medium level. So here we go. Simon says, put your hands in the air. Simon says, touch your head. Simon says, put one hand on your shoulder. Put two hands on your shoulder. Oh, I wonder who's got one hand and who's got two hands. Simon says, put your hands out really wide. Simon says, make a love heart with your fingers. Simon says, put your hands on your knees. Take one hand off your knee. I wonder who's still got two hands on their knees. Let's keep going. So Simon says, stand on one leg. Stand on two legs. I wonder who's still standing on one leg. Okay, so that was the medium level. Okay, so here is the hard level. Put your hands up. Okay, so here we go for real. Simon says, put your hands up. Simon says, put your hands on your head. Simon says, put your hands on your shoulders. Simon says, put your hands together. Simon says, put your hands apart. Touch your elbows. Simon says, touch your knees. Simon says, touch your foot. Simon says, put one hand in the air. Simon says, put another hand in the air. Touch your hips. I wonder how you got on with that harder level. Well done if you got it all right, and well done if you were struggling a little bit as well. Well done, that is the end of the hard level. So I wonder if you had the courage to keep on going even when you got it wrong, and who got them all right. Well done if you got them all right. So that is the end of our game for today. Let's go and watch our story for today, which is all about a man named Peter.
Stories of the Bible. Peter walks on water. This is Peter.
Hey-o! Whoop!
Peter was a fisherman who was called by Jesus.
Hey!
Peter saw the many miracles of Jesus,
Whoa!
and he heard all his teachings. Great crowds followed Jesus wherever he went. One day after Jesus had done a great miracle, he sent the disciples in a boat across the lake while he stayed and sent the people home.
See ya! Hey, Jesus!
After sending them home, Jesus went up into the hills by himself to pray. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves.
Ah!
About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified.
Ah!
In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!"
Hold on there.
But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage. I am here." Then Peter called to him, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water." So Jesus said, "Yes, come." So Peter went over the side of the boat
Whoa, you're awesome.
and walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and the waves,
Ah! Whoa!
he was terrified and began to sink.
Peter, help me!
"Save me, Lord!" he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. Jesus said, "You have so little faith. Why did you doubt me?" When they climbed back into the boat, the wind stopped. Then the disciples worshiped him and said, "You really are the Son of God."
Well, hello boys and girls, it's lovely to see you in January 2022. I hope you've been enjoying our assembly so far. So who had a lot of fun playing the game? Who had the courage to carry on playing it even when they got things wrong? Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? And then, of course, our Bible story with Peter in the boat. Did you see how Jesus gave Peter courage as he was in the boat along with his other friends, the disciples? And Jesus said this to Peter. He says, "Take courage, it is I." And you know, at that point, Peter then decided to take the courage and to step out of the boat, and he walked on water for a little bit. Do you know, courage is such an interesting word. Courage is doing something that frightens you despite your fears. Have you ever had courage to do something before? When you've had that sore tummy, when you felt a little bit afraid, but despite your fears, you've still done it anyway. Do you know, boys and girls, we can all have fears at times. We can all feel scared. We can all feel nervous. We can all feel like we don't want to do something. But you know, we all need courage. We all need to learn to have courage to do something even when we're feeling afraid. And the first thing I want to tell you today is what Jesus said to Peter. Jesus says, "Take courage." Do you know, if you're going to take something, you have to reach out and you have to grab it. Think about this week as you've been going to school. How many times have your parents or those that you live with said, "Take your hat," and you go and reach for your hat and you put it on. They said, "Take your jacket," and you go and you take your jacket and you put it on. They say, "Take your gloves," and of course you go and you reach for your gloves and you take them and you put them on. You have to take these things, and we take our hat, our scarf, our gloves, our jacket in wintertime because it's freezing. But you know, boys and girls, we also need to take courage, to go and think, right, I'm going to take courage and I'm going to do something that I've never done before. Let me tell you, you've had courage throughout your life, because at one point you couldn't walk. And you took courage despite the fear of falling. You took courage to take a step, to take a second step, and of course, you can walk. Who here can ride a bike? Do you remember the feeling of learning to ride a bike for those who can do that? Do you know, as you go on the bike, you've maybe gone from a bike that you push or a bike with stabilizers, and you have to take courage as you learn to go your bike and not fall off, and that's the fear. You take courage and you learn to ride a bike. Who here has ever taken courage and learned to swim? Oh my goodness, do you remember that moment when you were learning to swim? Arm bands were on, you maybe had a float, the water was deeper, it was a long way to the bottom, but you took courage and you learned to swim. Boys and girls, we take courage all the time. Do you know, you are where you are today because you have taken courage and you've learned so many different skills. And I want to encourage you this year to continue to take courage for the different challenges that come your way. Do you know, we need to take courage, but we also need to live courageously. You might say, "Lisa, what does that mean to live courageously?" Well, when you're living it, you're making that choice every day to live courageously. Do you know, can I tell you, one of my biggest things that I had to have courage in was finding my voice. Now, you might be listening to me just now thinking, there is no way she used to be quiet. There's no way that she had a problem finding her voice. But let me tell you, boys and girls, when I went to primary school, I was one of the quietest girls in the class. Who here is one of the quietest in the class? Well, let me tell you, I was just like you. I was so quiet. I wouldn't have said anything. I used to keep all the thoughts to myself. They didn't come out of my mouth. And I was quite happy when everybody else spoke instead of me. But you know, as I grew up, I learned I had to find my voice. But in order to find my voice meant often I felt embarrassed and my face would go red and it would be really, really difficult. And you know, I had a choice. I had to have the courage, take courage and live courageously, or I could go into the background and just pretend that nobody was there listening to me. Do you know, I found that when I chose to step out and to live courageously, even when I had a sore tummy, even when my face was going red, the more I did it, the more confidence I gained. And I want to encourage you today to live courageously. Don't let your fears limit what you can do. You can do so much more when you just step out and you take the courage and you try and live courageously. So we need to take courage and we need to live courageously. And I want to show you a video just now of two children, a boy and a girl. Don't live in this country, but they are two children who have taken courage and they are living courageously. So let's watch Abigail and Jeremiah. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Abigail. I went on tour with Watoto to Inspire. I went to US and Brazil. I like to sing and dance. I got to meet a Disney princess and have fun. When I grow up, I want to be a hairstylist. I also like to skip ropes. I love Watoto because it's where I live with my mom, brothers, and sisters. I was rescued by Watoto when I was a little baby. Today I live with a family that loves me and I love them.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah, and when I grow up, I want to be a worship leader. I enjoy playing with my friends. I was rescued as a baby. Watoto gave me a family that loves me, and I love them.
So did you enjoy hearing the story of Abigail and Jeremiah? Isn't it amazing to hear their stories? Do you know how much courage it's taken to get to where they're at? Did you hear what both of them said? Both of them, for different family reasons, were abandoned as babies. And with Total Ministry, they actually helped them, took them in, gave them a house to live in, gave them a family to be part of. But you know, Abigail and Jeremiah both needed to take courage to where they're at today. They had to take courage as they learned to live in the village, take courage as they learned to be part of a family, take courage as they went along to school and made some new friends. And what do we see when we look at them? Well, we don't necessarily see them taking courage, but we do see them living courageously. We see them enjoying spending time with their friends. We see them enjoying skipping, enjoying going to school, enjoying being part of a family. Do you know, it's so important, boys and girls, that we try our hardest to take courage when we need it. Don't give up. Don't walk away from situations. Keep trying to ride your bike if you're learning to ride it. Keep trying to learn it to swim. Keep trying at school. If you're struggling with something, whether it's story writing, whether it's shape and maths, whether it's something different, don't give up. Take courage. Live courageously so you can be the best that you can be. Have courage doing it despite your fears. Do you know, with Toto, like Abigail and Jeremiah was part of, they were supposed to be coming over to this country. Some of you might remember that, back in March 2020. And of course, they didn't come because of COVID and the different restrictions at this time. But you know, we've been listening to their music today. We've listened to it during Simon Says. Did you pick that up? And we have some CDs that we've came across that we're able to give away. You might even find some of these CDs in your school. You have to keep your eyes peeled for that. But you know, boys and girls, I want to leave one last thing with you. I've encouraged you to take courage. I've encouraged you to live courageously. But I want to encourage you to give courage. Well, what does that mean? Cheer other people on when they're feeling afraid. Cheer your friends on when they're feeling a bit like they're fearful and they can't do it. Do you know, we all need encouragement. The same way as people encouraged you to walk, encouraged you to write, encouraged you to go on your bike, you need to encourage those around about you. Encourage people, give courage to people, reassure them, let them know that they can do it. And can you imagine how much easier it will be for people to tackle their fears? So 3 things to leave with you today. to take courage when you feel that fear is going to overcome and you're not going to complete a task, you're not going to do a challenge. Live courageously, have courage every day, and give courage to other people, encouraging them along the way. So that's it for our assembly this month. We hope that you have a courageous month, overcome some fears. I'd love to hear your stories. You can email us in at kids@aogsentinel.co.uk. Keep doing your best, boys and girls, and live courageously. See you next time.